Okay, so this week we're going to be looking at the nose, drawing and shading the nose. So a couple of things about the nose that I want you to think about. The first is that it's going to look drastically different depending on the angle that you're looking at it from. So if I'm sitting straight in front of someone and they're looking straight ahead, I'm going to be able to see both nostrils evenly. Or if I'm sitting off to the side of someone and I'm doing more of a profile view, notice that the entire look of the nose is completely different. I can only see one of the nostrils. And then I think one of the hardest types or angles to draw is when you're sitting just a little bit off to the side, and it's like this, where I can see a little bit of this nostril, but not very much. And that's really hard for the brain to do, because our brain knows that our nostrils are the same on both sides. But what you want to do is you always want to draw it how you see it. So if you're looking at someone's nose from an angle like this, and this nostril that is away from you seems like it is only 1/4 of an inch, that's how you want to draw it. That's going to make it look like you are looking at the person from an angle. Normally, the tip of the nose is going to actually drop below the nostril holes, and I want you to notice that a lot of times you can't even see up into the hole itself. What you're going to see is the shading that's on the face underneath the hole. There are some types of nose, I'd call it like a button nose, where you actually can see up into the holes, and if that's the case, you really want to be careful that you don't make those nostrils just a big gaping black hole. You're going to make the person look like a pig, and they will not like that very much. Don't forget the trough, which is the part that is underneath the tip of the nose, in between the nose and the mouth. So as we are drawing the nose from a photograph, when I do this drawing, I would start with this side, using lines lightly. I would draw in this side nostril, the nostril hole on the left, the tip of the nose, the nostril hole on the right, the back side of the nostril. I would lightly draw in where some of the major shading is going to go. But the most important thing is, as I start to shade my nose, I want my shading to define all of the edges. Remember that objects do not have outlines, and a face is not made up of lines. A face is made up of shading. And so it's really important that as I start to get to the completion of my drawing and my shading with my nose, I want to try and make the lines disappear as much as I can, and the form of the nose itself is going to be shown by my shading. So notice with this photograph, I cannot see those nostril holes at all, and so if I don't see them, I'm not going to draw them. What I see is I see the kind of like the shadow on the upper part of the lip that's behind the nose, which is making the tip of the nose itself kind of like pop forward. This area right here is oftentimes going to be somewhat spherical. There's going to be a lot of shading that's going to take place here and up on either sides. One thing about this photograph is that it is definitely blown out, because you can tell that they put some sort of flash on her face when they took this photograph, and so it really blows out some of the values. So on the photograph that you find, you might find a lot more subtle variation of shading taking place here, kind of like here, and up around the sides of the nostrils. So just like before, we're not just going to draw the nose itself. I want to draw the skin that is around it. So we're going to draw the nose, we're going to draw the cheeks, we're going to draw the trough, kind of like right to where the mouth starts. Sort of like if I blocked it out, we're going to draw this area here, because I want us to be practicing that the skin that is around the nose as well.